So what if I told you that maybe that thing that you are afraid of, that thing that you are so afraid of is the gateway to your dreams? All men die, but not all men fully live. Just think about that for a second. All men die, but not all men fully live. What if I told you that if you are afraid of something, if you are scared of taking a step into the unknown, that maybe that fear is a sign that you're standing on the edge of something incredible? So I'll tell you the story. Not sure if I've shared with you yet, but I am the founder of Freedom Tree. Freedom Tree is a charity. It's a Canadian-based charity, and right now we're focused on work in Sierra Leone, West Africa, as well as in Alberta, in rural Alberta. We work with women of color and Indigenous women in Alberta to improve maternal outcomes. And then we work in Sierra Leone, West Africa to reduce the rates of maternal and infant mortality. For those of you who don't know, maternal and infant mortality is when a woman dies in the process of childbirth, either before giving birth, during giving birth, or shortly after. Infant mortality is when a child dies under the age of 5. Sierra Leone, West Africa, has the highest rate of infant and maternal mortality in the world. And it's sort of a long story of how I got there to starting this nonprofit, and now this is what I do. And we have seen huge changes in the work that Freedom Tree is doing, where we go into certain villages and, when we first go into that village, a woman is dying every month. And then after our intervention, we have, like, on one of the oldest villages that we've worked in, we started in 2013, there has not been a single woman who has died giving birth in that village since we started working on it. So it brings a smile to my face, because I think, just knowing that lives have been changed and things are different for so many women around the world. And it's something that I'm very excited about. Anyway, so if you saw what I did today, you would think that I was the most brave person getting up, going out and doing this, but I wasn't like that. I wasn't like that at all. Sometimes people find it hard to believe when they meet me today, but I first got the opportunity to go to Sierra Leone when there was a mission trip at my church. And so at my church, they said, hey, there's a bunch of us that are going to go to Sierra Leone, West Africa. We need people. This was in 2005, 2004, actually, right after the war. And, the call to action was, if you can just raise some money, come with us, get on a plane, we're going to go and see what we can do to help, because, Sierra Leone is just in need of help. And you guys, this is something I've always wanted to do. Since I was a little girl, I told my parents that I wanted to be a missionary doctor. I wanted to work in developing countries. I wanted to see the lives of women and children change. I wanted to do all these things. This was something I wanted to do. This wasn't, it didn't just come out of left field. But yet, when that call to action came in 2004, I was too afraid to go. I was too scared to go. A bunch of other people went. I watched as they went. And my biggest fear, it wasn't going to another country necessarily. Actually, my biggest fear was the financial implications. I had just recently graduated from university. I had student loans. And I thought, I can't afford that. And, the others who were going, there was a bunch of students who were going to, and they were all raising funds. And I thought, I can't raise funds. Who am I going to ask? How am I going to raise funds? And the amount of money back then was $5,000. And it seemed like a mountain to me, just this incredible mountain that I felt like I couldn't overcome. So I was too afraid to go. And the next year, it took me a whole year of working that through internally. And the next year, the call to action came again, because there was a second trip going. And this time I thought, I'm going to go. I don't know how it's going to happen, and I'm going to go. And I was afraid the whole time raising funds. Back then, we would write letters to friends and family, put them in the mail, send them, and hopefully you get some checks back, just explaining, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I've had this passion. I want to go to Sierra Leone and I want to serve. This is exactly what we're going to do. This is the dates that I'm going. Can you please consider supporting me? And it happened. Not only did I raise the $5,000, I raised more than. I think the exact amount was, I think it was like 6,500 that I raised, and which was great because, what was left was able to go to the project itself. And I went to Sierra Leone in 2005, and my life was transformed. Never the same since. Here we are. It says 20 years on. So this year is going to be 20 years in August. It's going to be the 20-year anniversary of the first time I ever stepped foot in Sierra Leone. And my life has never been the same since. So what if I told you that maybe that thing that you are afraid of, that thing that you are so afraid of is the gateway to your dreams. It's the gateway to your calling and to your passion. The thing that you are meant to do in this life is going to come little by little. It doesn't always come in this big massive form that drops in front of you and you can see the road so clear in front of you, because if it was, then we would all be doing it. Sometimes you don't want to take a step because you want to see what the end result looks like, but it's actually all in the journey. It's the adventure is the journey that you take, putting one foot in front of the other, figuring out as you go along. That's where the adventure lies. And I can't tell you. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to share with you some of the things that I've learned over the last 20 years. How God has brought me on this journey from this scared little girl who I was so scared to be that person, to go to, he's transformed me into the person that's getting other people to go. And it's hilarious actually when I think about it, the changes that have happened in me. So I just want to encourage you today. Maybe that thing that you are so afraid of, like you just want to take a step out and do it. Recording this podcast is something that I'm scared of. I pontificated and procrastinated for 3.5 years before I stepped out and did this. Maybe 3-4 years before I stepped out and did this, because I would just watch, other people's episodes and think, oh, this is great. I wish I could do this. What if, this would be great. I imagined what it would look like in my mind, but I just never sat down. I even bought a camera, and the camera sat on use for a couple years. But here I am. I'm using the camera. I don't even know how to use the camera. I'm using the camera. I'm stepping out and I'm doing something that I believe in, something that I'm passionate about. And, and I want to, my heart, my passion is to encourage you that whatever it is that is on your heart, how do you get from A to B to the place where you can look at your life and say, I am living my passion. I'm living my hopes. I'm living my dreams. I'm doing the thing that I was meant to do on this earth. So first step today, is there something in your life that you're afraid of? Is there something in your life that you are scared of? Is there a step that you're scared of taking? It might be good to just reflect on it and reflect on why. The biggest growth on our journey to that thing that God has called us to, the biggest change and growth happens inside of us. It's not the circumstances that need to change. It's not the amount of money in our pocket that needs to change. You are the one that needs to change. Just like for me, I was the one that needed to change, and I still am. I have to change every single day, and I have to choose growth, authenticity, and change every single day. Thank you. I think that's the end of episode 2. I will see you next time.